This is Paul with Make Use Of, and today we're looking at a new budget wireless microphone system by Bietrun that is looking to give the competition a run for its money. The WXM22 costs $99 for its one transmitter, one receiver combo, half the price of the big name Rode Wireless Go, as well as the recently released Comica Boom XD. Price and convenience are definitely in Bietrun's favor here, but does it cut too many corners as a result? And as I share my tests and experience using this mic for the past couple weeks, we're going to find out. While this is primarily going to be a tool targeted for content creators, YouTubers, vloggers, as well as filmmakers, especially those who do weddings, events, and interviews, this is also a really handy tool to also record audio in general wirelessly, delay-free, for other applications including playing music live or listening to your TV with your favorite pair of headphones. More on that later. With my experience as a content creator, videographer, as well as having used similar systems like the Comica Boom XD, as well as other mics that we're going to be recording and comparing to throughout this test here, I'll be able to share my thoughts, tell you what I like about it, as well as share some of the areas that I think it can improve upon. And so throughout this review, you're actually going to be hearing a variety of microphones. The lapel, as you've been hearing throughout this intro here, that comes with this system. The internal mic, which we'll switch to, as well as the Comica VM20, which is a boom mic above me. These are all incredible mics that have their strengths and weaknesses, and for certain situations, one's going to be the better choice over the other. However, what I found from doing these tests, especially the one outdoors, is a system like this is actually very convenient and offers a lot of benefits over these other options because of how easy it is to set up and record yourself on your own. Let's start by covering this system's key features. We're now switching to the internal microphone. And so with our packaging, it's pretty minimal here. You get this nice black simple box with some nice gold lettering there that kind of stands out. It's pretty shiny. Opening it up right away, you'll find the stars of the show, the one receiver and one transmitter. Open up the second box, which includes accessories, and you'll find the lapel microphone, which we were recording with earlier, one TRS cable, which is currently in use, and one TRRS cable as well. You'll also get a dual USB-C charging cable and a rather hefty carrying pouch. Notably missing from these contents though is a dead cat. In contrast, other systems like the Comica Boom XD, which I've mentioned earlier, do include dead cats and a specialized mounting solution for them as well. When we switch to our outdoor test, I'll tell you a little bit more about their importance and why I think some people may actually require them, especially if they're going to be using the internal microphone. However, something that is included that isn't always found in other competing systems is that TRS to TRRS cable that I mentioned. What's great about this is it allows you to connect and use this transmitter and receiver with your mobile devices like your phone and your tablet. Powering them on is quick and pairing happens almost instantly. When you look at them side by side, they look nearly identical, with the exception of where the buttons are placed, as well as the fact that the transmitter has a microphone at the top. The settings button, when pressed, allows you to change your channel. So for example, if you have other microphones that are also using that same system and you want to keep them separate, you're able to do so by switching those channels. Press the settings button again to confirm your changes. You can also hold that same settings button and that'll act as a mute button. They both have the same volume and settings button layout at the bottom. And on their sides, that's where the transmitter is only going to have the USB-C charging, whereas the receiver is going to have a headphone monitoring jack, which I'll talk about a little bit more in just a bit, as well as its audio out port. It seems when you're actually directly monitoring the audio through the receiver itself, the audio levels are very low and will mislead you because you're going to think that it's far quieter than it is. You'll just turn up the gain on both your receiver and transmitter. You'll start hitting red and clipping levels, but you won't really realize it because as you're monitoring it directly through the receiver, it still sounds very quiet. So my recommendation, and what I've been doing throughout this test, is recording directly into the Zoom H1N external recorder. And so I have the line out directly from the receiver going into the input of the Zoom H1N, and then I have my headphone monitoring port going into these headphones, which allows me to periodically monitor the audio and make assessments comparing them between each other. You're seeing more devices implement this, and I think this is a great choice. The clips on the back of your receiver and transmitter, which allow you to easily place it on, say, your shirt collar, the back of your pocket, also doubles as your hot shoe mount. So I think that's actually pretty smart because now you don't need a separate attachment that you can either forget, lose, or whatever. It's just built into it and will attach to your hot shoe mount with no issues. They both have 650 milliamp rechargeable batteries in them. That rates it for about 5 hours of continuous use. I've been getting around that number. I've been using this for the entire day now, and I only just recently had to charge them off before starting this video. At about 3 hours to charge them fully, it does take a bit longer than I would like, and the fact that I've noticed these don't actually accept PD, power direct charging, so you're stuck to using those slower chargers. On the other hand, something that's great that they included that was rather unexpected is that dual USB-C charging cable that I mentioned earlier. You're going to need to charge them both, and chances are if you're using them together at the same time, they'll both probably drain at the same rate roughly. When powered up, the screens on the units themselves tell you all the important information you need, including is this the receiver or the transmitter, so in case you forget, you just need to quickly glance at it to know what it is, your volume level, your channel, as well as your audio levels down below. And on the right hand side, you'll see the signal strength between the transmitter and the receiver. Having used this both indoors and outdoors, I think they're bright enough. The only time that I noticed it getting a little washed out, or I wish it was a little brighter, is when it is in direct, harsh sunlight. These are definitely small and lightweight, especially when compared to the old school walkie-talkie style systems that I used to have to use back in the days when I was recording wedding videos. Those are big, clunky, and they even had a long radio antenna that was probably about the same weight and size as the unit itself. That said, at about 40 grams, it is about 7 to 10 grams heavier than the Rode Wireless Go system. Not that you'd really ever notice that, but it's a testament to how much smaller and condensed they can make a product when you spend the extra money. And now we're going to head outdoors for an in-depth look at its range test, as well as a few other comparisons. Range with this system is advertised to be 50 meters or 164 feet. And so for this next part, we're going to go ahead and stop monitoring via these headphones. We're going to go ahead and put the receiver on the Sony a7S III, and we're going to be doing our distance tests. We're going to be walking backwards. Going to continue walking backwards. Going to maintain a little bit of a conversation with you. It's about 35 degrees here in Richmond. Pretty chilly. Not too bad. I have 2 jackets on. And I would imagine I'm about maybe 30, 40, maybe about 50 feet away now. Probably closer to 60, maybe 70 feet. Now I'm turning my back, trying to avoid these more wet areas. Don't want to go any further back right now. It's too wet there. But as I stand over here, and I'm probably very teeny on the screen right now, so that's another thing that I'm thinking. Are you realistically going to be recording audio with the transmitter and receiver this far away? As a one-man crew filming themselves outdoors in wide open areas, I think it's very handy to have a wireless system like this. You are not tethered via wires. You have the ability to roam freely and have confidence that you're going to be recording clean, crisp audio. So that was the range test. Hopefully that gave you a good idea as to how well it performed as we went pretty far out there, turned our backs, turned around. Going back to the earlier point I made at the start of this video regarding that $99 price point, are there any compromises? Right now, the only major one that I can possibly think of is in a situation like this, where you're outdoors and you want to use the internal microphone. You're just trying to set up much quicker and faster. The downside is not having that dead cat, not having a specific mount that allows for the attachment of dead cats, means when you are recording audio in a situation like this, even where it's not that windy, it's going to be more susceptible to those low frequencies like we were saying. And likewise, as I was noting and pointing out when I was walking across the field right about there, as I was turning around, moving, being a little bit more, I don't know, dramatic with my movements, yes, but it was definitely picking up a lot more of those sounds compared to with the lapel right now. But it is getting chilly, so let's go ahead and hop back into the studio for a couple more tests and then the wrap up. So what are some other practical uses that take advantage of a system like this? Well, for starters, these kinds of videos, whether you're doing a tech review on your own, you're doing a podcast, you're interviewing someone, anything where it's a more controlled situation where you need to either mic yourself, another person, a couple people, either just using the internal microphone, which offers the highest convenience but lower audio quality, or using the included lapel, or in fact, any other lapel or external microphone that is compatible with that 3.5mm jack. The one last audio example I want to provide and test is a comparison between using the lapel microphone going through this wireless system and comparing it to completely bypassing it and going straight into the digital external recorder. So listen to this sentence as I'm just speaking right now. Are we picking anything up? And now we'll switch to the other one. Plugging the lapel directly into the wireless system seems to introduce some slight hissing that you can probably clean up a little bit in post, but it is noticeable as I'm monitoring it through here compared to just go directly through the external recorder I'm still hearing the same room tone, but it's just a warmer hum. The one last key feature I want to again highlight, like I was saying at the beginning of this video, is you're not just limited to using this as a tool to record audio, either using the internal microphone, the lapel, or any other microphone in fact. You can actually just use this as a convenient tool to wirelessly transmit other audio, like we're saying, for example, watching TV or playing music. And so my experience using this Bietrun WXM system has been pretty positive. Honestly, with its low price, I was a little concerned that it might be cutting too many corners in order to get to that price point. However, from my experience and tests, it seems to be pretty comparable in terms of the audio quality that I've been getting with my other microphones, but it also introduces a new level of convenience and value that the others don't really offer for the most part. Again, when you're just a one-man crew and you're doing video and audio, being able to reliably and easily record yourself and not being tethered via wires or very long lapel cables is a very convenient thing to have, and that's something that this system does a great job at. If you want to learn a little bit more about this microphone, you can read our article on it. If you have any other questions about this microphone system, you can ask them in the comments down below or reach out directly via any of my social media links. Thanks again for tuning into this video, and until the next one, we'll catch you later.